On February 7, 1921, a boy named Bishen Chand Kapoor was born in Bareilly, India. Usually, a 10-month-old child is just starting to string together basic syllables, but Bishen was completely different. The first clear word out of his mouth was heavy, specific, and entirely out of place: Pilibet. 4 years later, Bishen was traveling back from a family wedding. As their train was approaching a specific stop, the conductor announced the station name to the passengers. The moment the boy heard the name of the station, he erupted. He started screaming and pulling at his father's clothes, demanding they get off the train immediately because he claimed he actually lived there. By age 5, these outbursts grew more unsettling. Bishen began demanding that his father buy him a mistress, casually telling the adults about the fun they would have spending time together. Then came the darkest claim. Bishen announced that his real name was actually Lakshmi Narayan and that he had murdered a man in broad daylight to possess a woman. This was a 5-year-old child with no connection to the criminal underworld and no way to know the geography of a distant town. Yet he possessed an adult's knowledge of vice, violence, and murder. The details were far too specific to be a child's game. This toddler had provided a geographically precise, legally accurate murder confession for a dead man. These claims caught the attention of a lawyer named K.K. Mandin Sahai. Sahai documented the boy's statements and eventually took Bishen to Pilibet to physically verify the locations he described. Years later, Dr. Ian Stevenson, a researcher specializing in reincarnation, reopened the case. He applied a rigorous academic standard to the files, searching for any signs of fraud or accidental exposure. He found none. The historical investigation revealed the real Lakshmi Narayan. He was the pampered son of a wealthy farmer who had abandoned his education to pursue a life of unchecked decadence. Lakshmi spent his inheritance on fine clothes and heavy drinking, but his singular obsession was a local prostitute named Padma. He was so infatuated with her that he refused to ever marry, living only for her. That obsession turned fatal when Lakshmi saw another man leaving Padma's house. In a jealous rage, he snatched his servant's gun and shot the man dead in the street. Lakshmi used his immense wealth to stay ahead of the law, eventually fleeing to a neighboring city. But his lifestyle had taken its toll, and his health began to rapidly decay. After 5 months of suffering from various diseases, Lakshmi Narayan died on December 15, 1918. He was 35 years old. Death did not seem to settle his accounts. Instead, it left behind a massive karmic debt, trapping a murderer's unresolved obsessions inside the soul of the boy born just 3 years later. The connection was proven when Bishen met Lakshmi Narayan's mother. The boy flawlessly identified her and answered personal questions that only her dead son could have known. This layout of the family home reveals the most compelling evidence. Before he died, Lakshmi's father had hidden a stash of gold coins in this highlighted room, a secret known only to the father and son. Bishen pointed investigators to the exact spot, and the gold was recovered. This was just one of 46 distinct matches Dr. Stevenson officially recorded between Bishen's claims and the reality of Lakshmi Narayan's life. Despite the evidence, the most unsettling moments were personal. During his childhood, Bishen would reunite with Padma, sitting in her lap with the focused affection of a grown lover. By 1944, Bishen was 23. One evening in Naikat, he arrived at Padma's house, in a state of intoxication, desperate to reclaim the memories of his past life. Padma met him at the door, her face full of fear. She snatched the bottle of alcohol from his hand and smashed it, refusing to let him inside. She told him she was now old enough to be his mother and warned him to leave. She told him he had already lost everything once, and he was on the verge of doing it again. This rejection finally broke the cycle. Bishen walked away and never returned, ending the physical obsession but leaving him to live with the psychological weight of 2 intertwined lives. Bishen lived the rest of his life in a bleak aftermath. He was haunted by Lakshmi's anger and a phantom guilt for a murder he remembered committing. To avoid repeating those sins, he suppressed his own traits, living a quiet, joyless existence. This suffering mirrors ancient concepts in Hindu texts, describing a cycle where souls move between bodies. The Garuda Puran explains the soul discards a body like old clothes, yet carries the stains of past actions. Sins are not erased, they enter the new vessel. Researchers seek a mechanical explanation, proposing consciousness functions as an independent entity, separate from the biological brain. Central to the quantum theory of consciousness, this framework suggests consciousness acts as a data store surviving physical death, allowing memories to upload into a new host. Skepticism of reincarnation is common, but verified cases like Bishen Chand provide a documented anomaly. When a child can locate hidden treasure and confess to a decades-old murder, our understanding of death is challenged. If death is a data transfer, we face a final provocation. What unresolved memories or quiet sins might your own soul be carrying right now?